Good morning! Hey, all you beautiful, amazing, wonderful folks out there. So I'm so excited that you decided to press play this morning to hear my heart's encouragement for you on this day on the calendar. So last night, Patrick and I, we were driving back from Jonesboro, had a few errands that we had to run, and as we were coming back, we noticed that the headlight was out. What you gonna do, right? You're on the road, it's dark, there's hardly any cars out. So you know what Patrick did? He flipped it up on the high beams so that we could see where we were going. Now, you and I both know that if you come in contact with somebody who's got their high beams on, what's the first thing you do? Oh, well, you flashed your high beams, which is, of course, the problem, is that they've got theirs on. But you do it as a courtesy flash to let them know that, hey, buddy, I think you might have forgotten, but your high beams are on. And then what do you expect? You're expecting them to turn the high beams off, correct? And last night we saw this time and time again. Folks would flash the high beams, and then Patrick, of course, didn't want to turn them off because we're out in the middle of nowhere and you wouldn't be able to see his vehicle if they were off. And so the person would do the courtesy flash. Patrick would realize he couldn't turn them off, and then what would the next person do? The person that was coming in contact with him. They would turn their high beams on permanently. So let me break this down for you. Someone was being very kind and courteous and notifying Patrick and myself that the high beams are on. And whenever we did not reciprocate what they were sending out, they went ahead and gave us back what they were irritated about in the first place. Have you ever had this happen? Not just in a car with a light out, but how about in your life? How many times do we send out a kind gesture expecting that it will be heard and reciprocated, and then when it's not, we turn around and give back to them what's the problem in the first place? Have you ever dealt with that? I can tell you that I have. Today, my encouragement for you is, number one, if you're going to send out a kind gesture, do it with zero expectations. We don't do kind things to get kind things back. Those are not gifts. Those are simply a reward for good behavior or for reciprocating what was requested. When you give something, give with zero expectation. And number two, if you give it and it isn't received or it isn't given back to you, move on. We are not kind so that other people will be kind back to us. We are kind because it's who we are. I encourage you today, think about your motive, think about why you're doing things, and then also be thinking about what you're expecting in return. My encouragement is to ditch the expectations and be kind anyway. Love you so much. Word.